The Greenpeace survey ship Beluga arrived in Hull at the weekend and will spend the week cruising the Humber estuary, carrying out detailed scientific research work using the small but well-equipped laboratory on board to analyse samples.
We're concerned about every company that's discharging a vast array of different wastes into the river and the way in which those wastes are behaving and the way in which those wastes are affecting the health of the North Sea as a whole.
After 4 days of scientific research on the Humber, the Greenpeace organisation set out today to confront a multinational company they blame for recklessly polluting the environment. The Kappa Pass smelting works is the largest of its type in the world and belongs to the Rio Tinto Zinc Group.
Kappa Pass put about 8 kilograms a day in of cadmium. It was linked with a disease called Itai disease in Japan in the late 1960s. Where what it does is instead of calcium forming the bones, the cadmium forms them instead, and your bones just become extremely brittle. And there were cases in Japan where people were they couldn't put blankets over people, because when they put blankets over them, they just collapsed.
If they're not legally obliged to contain or recycle, then they treat the environment as a very cheap waste dump site.
They've just put out a big banner here, and I think someone from Kappa Pass has agreed to come down and talk to them. There are security guards here, but I think the MD from the plant is going to come down and talk to them in about half an hour, actually here at the jetty. Yeah, I thought I'd let you know what was going on.
In actual fact, we haven't started the interview yet, but you may find that there's more agreement between us than disagreement.
Yeah.
You may well get a surprise.
A number of parish councillors have been down to Greenpeace in London complaining about possible contamination of the river in this particular vicinity following the discharge of quite an amount of arsenic and cadmium into the local area. I mean, I don't know how your feelings are from an industrialist point of view about the way in which you're poisoning the river. How do you feel about this?
Well, we wouldn't accept that we're poisoning the river. Let's get that straight. Let me put it this way. Over the past 6 years, this company, because it does have a long-term future, it has a good business, we have spent on environment, safety and health no less than 50% of our profits before interest and tax charges on environment, safety and health.
Could you detail how you spend this, the environmental portion of this?
Yes, we spend it on filtration equipment to make sure that whatever goes up that stack is treated before it goes up that stack. We've got bag houses or centrifuges or scrubbers on everything that goes into that stack. It is not an aerial sewer in which we dump things ad lib. You're setting yourselves up as self-appointed regulatory authorities, and that you are not. We have others appointed by the government.
No, we're setting ourselves as being defenders of the natural environment. We're taking a position, adopting on the environment, from the environment's point of view, about precisely what the state of the rivers are and how damaged they're becoming. We're taking that stance on that side, and on behalf of the people that can't be here today. 1.5 million members worldwide who are sitting behind this boat saying that what we say is correct and what we're fighting for is for a free and for a clean environment.
I personally am convinced you've had a beneficial effect upon the environment, because you keep industrialists like us on our toes, and that's good.
Okay, let's try it here.
So if we move the boards across slowly, so we cut off the flow, and hopefully if we have a slight angle, it'll bounce all the stuff out the other way.
But if we've got an actual
big just keep moving
square
along.
sheet made up, say if you did it, put it like a hinge on that left-hand side.
Yeah.
So one either side, tied it up like that, so you're on some sort of pivoting action. This, you know, that sort of thing like that. So it was fixed there.
Yeah.
And you could get 2 ropes on there. You wouldn't have to be in the line of fire. You could just pull it up.
Pull it up.
And tighten it like that, and then you wouldn't have individual balls. Just have a big square thing that.
Except for the weight to it.
You don't want to get anywhere near you don't want to get anywhere underneath that.
No, you want to stay above that. Otherwise, you get all the shale flying out at you.
Yeah, because it blows around a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. But be really careful, because at the top, the sludge, it is, if you fall into that stuff, you'll sink.
Yeah.
You really will sink, you know. I mean, it's just possible you could roll off on the dry side, but it depends. Sometimes it comes out really wet.
Yeah.
And then you just sink straight into it, which is not a very nice way to go. I mean, if the police arrive and and there's a lot of police around, and we want to get the boards up, I mean, we can work out a distraction or something. You can take them to one side and start talking with them, and it literally takes 1 minute to get the rope down and start pulling. 10 seconds to throw a rope down, and literally 5 seconds to pull it above head height. So we can play a cat and mouse game getting the wood up, no problem. He inquires about what we're doing, we just say, well, we are Greenpeace and we're going to hang a banner here because we don't like, the effects that this pollution is having. And we won't mention at that stage the wood. And even if they ask what the wood's for, you can say, well, we're going to build a platform on the end to sit on. And then, obviously you will have sent the telex.
Give my paint back. Come on. Look, I wasn't wasting paint here.
So we're threatening to block by 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
If the response doesn't come through, then we've won the
We'll subject our volunteers to the sludge.
On the right side, Brian.
Yeah.
Can I get it? Hold it down.
Yeah. Get it.
Oh, it's bending the corrugator, so we're all right.
So, camera running? Right. So, first of all, tell me exactly what's happening and why it's happening.
For almost 3 decades now, ministers have been complaining about the problem of the beaches of County Durham. Over 40 square kilometres of coastline here have been completely destroyed by waste from the mining industry, and 14 ministers from different successive governments have said that there's need for immediate action, and yet governments have been complacent. Now Greenpeace is saying now that it's time to stop, and that the governments have to take notice and provide funding to clean up these disgusting beaches that we're presently based on. The climbers behind me are scaling this 100-foot conveyor belt which discharges over 2 million tonnes of waste into the sea every year. And what we're saying, and what the climbers will do, is that they'll unfold a banner in about 5 minutes' time saying it's time to stop and it's time to clean the beaches now. What we've also done is issued an ultimatum to the Department of the Environment that if we don't receive a return telex from them by 11 o'clock today, then the 2 chaps who are presently on top of the chimney or presently on top of this escalator will attempt to block the escalator. It's what we're saying to the government, what we're saying to the people of County Durham is that it's time to stop. People have been saying for over 40 years it's time to stop, and Greenpeace is here to stop it.
Let
Me and Paul will go up there and give them 20 minutes before we block it. I'll leave this VHF here with you so that if we get arrested up there, you can continue with it and get away, okay? But give them 20 minutes. Have you got a watch on?
Yeah.
Well, it's 11:41 now, isn't it?
Give us your CB.
No, his CB's broken, so it's 11:41 now, so we'll give them till 12:05, okay? I'll have a chat with Beverly now and sort it all out with her.
Okay.
Hello, Beverly, over.
So where the hell are you going to put the waste? You can't take it from your doorstep and crap all over somebody else's doorstep with it. We need a plan about the whole further development of the environment of the North East. And that is the importance of what Greenpeace have done here today, because Greenpeace have a charisma all over the world of saying sensible things. Some people wouldn't agree some of the things they do are sensible, but my God, they turn the world's attention onto it.
Yeah. In Greenpeace, we try to tend not to make stars or celebrities of people.
Yeah.
But today, I mean, 3 people actually risked their lives to go and put those, to try and block that pipeline. And those 3 people are Joe Simpson, John Stevenson and Ron Taylor. Now,
I'm going to be last to get me.
Bits.
But you see what I mean? It's got to be broken down. It's all a bit bright. So I've got to spend a bit of time. So you're going to splotting over it.
Splotting over it, yeah.
But I'll do that either tonight or very early tomorrow morning.
How are we doing, Ness?
Acid rain kills.
clarify for us precisely what the nature of the waste you're carrying? Is it sewage sludge from traffic works, or have you just come down the canal?
Waste sludge from Runcorn works, that's all of it.
Time the fishermen started doing something as well about it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost too late for you to do anything about it, because there'll come the time when they'll just say no more fish, then you won't have the brass to do anything about it. Or the livelihoods to sort of stand behind, because at present you're in a position where you're fighting to continue doing what you're doing. Once they put the zero catch order on, you haven't got a position to go from.
That's the answer, isn't it?
How big a noise can we make?
I just don't think that the people in Liverpool understand how serious it is. Not that you don't understand, I don't think they understand. I think MAF realise, but they're playing a very dangerous game. Because if it goes above 0.29, it's not the British government that'll say you can't do it anymore. It's the European government that'll say...
But outside that, you've got about 120 people employed in fishing.
Yeah.
This is what I've just got down here, and that's 120 minimum actually employed in the catching power.
And then the families.
Not counting the offshoots of it, as such as that, like, you know. Well, if it does increase the mercury, all those are going to be out of work anyway.
It's not as if there's been an accident.
No.
They've allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what position MAF are going to take, whether they're going to take the stance that it was not their responsibility and there's nothing they can do and they won't pay compensation. They'll just say the environment was overloaded, it wasn't our it wasn't our fault. They'll say the environment, you know, they'll probably turn it back on you and say you overfished it.
Is it your intention to bring this to the notice of the public or what?
It's our intention to stop it, yeah.
If they won't tangle, you know, they'll be at least 10 feet. There'll be enough for you to get off. So just go off as normal, and then try and untangle the road.
We've got to go across the bridge. We've got to do a practice.
And we've got to do a practice outside of the practice.
We haven't got enough time.
Sorry? Oh, in some horrible nightclub near here that was just terrible. A real dive, yes. Dive is bloody word.
Well, with private property, the trespass is a thing, and that's a civil offence. That's a summons rather than an arrest. So I suppose the police could possibly do you for causing an obstruction of the highway while the cars stop to look.
Yeah.
But play it by ear, see what they say.
Well, it might be easier for Joe and us to shout to each other.
Yeah.
And you have the radio, Jules, that'd be better. We'll just take one between us. Oh, right.
Further!
Anybody coming, fuck's sake? No. Off you go. Shit! You're all clear. Police running. Retreat over there. Ready? You're off. Screwed in. Screw back to stop, yeah? Sorry, screw in to stop.
Yeah, screw this back to stop.
me a kiss. Okay. Guide that trail rope. That's it. Okay, you're off. Brilliant. Stop about 15 foot down. Go on. Now I've got to try and sort my bloody rope out.
How did they get on here anyway?
Okay.
Very good question. How do you get on the bridge? Drove on. Did you?
Yeah, well.
Great, isn't it? There's going to be... There's 4 of them. They're professional climbers. They know what they're doing.
That makes no difference. They're going to right on you. It's part of the bridge.
Well, I realise that. I mean, you know, we realise it. But what I'm just telling you is so you know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, the police will come here and sort them out then, right?
Okay, all right, fine. No problems. We're hanging a banner.
Hanging a banner?
Yeah, which will say, help Greenpeace clean up our rivers.
Yeah. Are they going to be coming back up this way or going down on the boat?
Down on the boat eventually.
Yeah.
But it'll be all over by 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock?
Yeah.
6 o'clock now.
It's 3 hours in a nice morning. It'll be sunny shortly, hopefully. Could be nice.
Oh, I don't know, some bloody idiot's doing it for Clean River or something. Greenpeace, isn't it?
This is fantastic that somebody is doing this, risking their neck for us. I think so. There's nobody here. The students have all gone. The children are in school. Well, all right, we've got the camera, but it's only ever a picture. I know it's more than that, but...
Porpoises used to be in 60 to 70 resorts around the UK 40 years ago. Now they're absent from the Irish Sea. You don't find them in the English Channel. They've disappeared from the Southern North Sea. It's down to about 20% the levels that they used to be seen. We've gone right around the entire coast. We've seen 11, where before you used to see them, especially on the west coast. They've gone. Salmon are very sensitive indicators of pollution. You know the experience here. And it's the complacency. I think that's what we're trying to get across, the sense of urgency. People use the sea as a convenient, cheap dumping ground. Maybe you should eat a dry biscuit. No, right. Well, we won't talk about that then.
Oh, no.
Would you like a cigarette?
Even a cup of cold water came up before.
Oh dear. I think I'll find the seasick pills then.
Oh, yeah, what's that thing at the bottom? Right at the very bottom, you see?
There?
Yeah.
That's the waterfall, that's the sewer. That's what we've come to see.
That's the Portreath sewage outlet.
Sewer, yeah. Yeah. But the caves at the back of those caves there were where, when it was a German warfare factory on the top.
Yeah.
The cave there is where they used to put their stuff out.
Right.
Their effluent.
But there's still a lot of nerve gas, mustard gas, ricin, other toxic chemicals around Mount Skewk area, because they only started dismantling it in 1980.
That's right.
And it's not the sort of thing you can take to pieces overnight.
You can see the cave there quite clearly now.
Yeah.
You know, with the old, looks as though it's billowing out smoke, some toxic material, but it's probably spewed.
Yeah. What we really need is the local environmental health officer scoop up some water and say, now would you drink this?
That's right, yeah. That's what we need.
How can I help you, madam?
I'll have a bad sausage.
Which one do you want?
I don't mind, that's fine.
That one?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's 45. 45. That's just enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Much obliged. Now, is nobody going to buy the umbrella at all? This is the last one we got. At £15, that's a bargain. Can't be back. Don't all rush, it's the only one we got.
Yeah, so the idea is you ring Waldegrave.
Lunch hour, George.
Don't worry about that. You ring Waldegrave's office and then you come out and say, they're doing it, 330 million, and then we'll open the champagne and pop it off.
Okay, mate.
That'll make a good end, won't it? Young Robert.
So Mr. Waldegrave's at lunch.
Just want confirmation from his office that they're going to spend 330 million. 30 million on Blackpool. And try and get an answer. Try and get some idea how much South West Water will get.
No. Well, we've got loads of reduce it, don't produce it banners, George.
Let's sling a banner up. Reduce it, don't produce it. You can't stop producing bleeding sewage. What are you doing? We'll be running around the country with corks next. Direct actions. Do a direct action, son. Shove that up your arsehole.
All the best.
Cheers. All the best to you.
No butter.
Toast to the Beluga, friends. To the flagship.
Hey! The success of the new campaign.
And the success of the new campaign. Hey!
What is it?
Give the cameraman a bottle.
Go on.
A toast to the sewage around the seas of Great Britain, which will be no more. After the Great Void.
Cheers, everybody. Well done.